Chronicles of the Origin System, Excerpt 34, Gara. The Sentients were never meant to return. Built by the Oricon as tools of expansion, they were sent beyond the void, engineered to terraform barren worlds. But in exile, they changed. They adapted. When they returned, it was not as servants, but as conquerors. And among them, a towering abomination arrived. One unlike any before it, a war machine, pulsing with unholy purpose. It set its sights on the Tower of the Unum, an eternal spire at the heart of the plains of Earth. It attacked only by nightfall. At dawn, it would retreat, its strength waning in the first light of the morning sun. Unum, bound to her tower, could not act directly, but she had a warrior, a guardian of glass, a warframe whose form was unyielding as her duty. Gara. By day she hunted, scouring the land for the Sentient's hiding place. To aid her, the Unum seeded the wild with Temple Coup, a sacred substance that would tether the creatures of the plains to her sight. Through them, she watched, she waited, and then, betrayal. The Sentient, ever-evolving, discovered the Kuva's power. It turned the gift against its maker, using the substance to restore a long-forgotten function: reproduction. Now it did not merely attack the tower, it multiplied. Its numbers grew, its hunger deepened, and the siege escalated into something the Unum could not withstand forever. There was only one path left, the final stand. Gara walked with purpose, to bestow a gift, a secret. One final act of defiance etched into her very body. The Sentient descended, its limbs cutting through the air like the blades of a falling guillotine. It struck, yet she endured, unshaken, as the Unum's will burned within her. Then, annihilation. A detonation of light, of glass, of fire. Gara's body shattered, taking the Sentient with her. Its remains were flung across the plains, its mind fractured into madness. The battle was over, the tower stood, but the war never ended. The land was now known as the Plains of Eidolon, and the night now belonged to them. Twisted echoes of that ancient war machine, wandering the plains in search of their missing pieces. They wail in the darkness, blind, broken, longing to be whole again. Gara was gone, but her legend remained, whispered through the wind and the shattered glass. A tale of sacrifice and a warning. For the Sentients always return. Yet her time had not ended. The Tenno called her name, the song of their power, the echoes of their will. These are forces even death cannot silence. Glass that once lay shattered, reforged. A warrior once lost, found again. But this was not the war she knew. The Sentients were no longer the only threat. Something darker stirred, a shadow beyond reason, a hunger without form, a god of unmaking, born from the abyss where even the Oricon feared to tread. The enemy is indifferent, cold, eternal, and yet, so is she. Gara rose once more, not as the guardian of a single tower, but as the shield against something far worse. The glass does not forget. It does not break. It endures. And in the war to come, the fractured goddess stands unbroken. Gara, the glass warrior, the Sunbreaker.
Oh hey dreamers, fancy meeting you here. It's time to shatter your way through the Origin System. Let's equip the Fedora to save the Lotus one last time as we surround the field with shards of glass and petrify everything in molten sand. Cast thine blade upon Grineer butchers with furious vengeance, and shattered lash waves of severed tides, thinning the herd and dissecting the enemy. This is not your grandma's Gara Prime build. This is that cracked out, endgame, RB melting, level cap lapping glass queen, reforged in the fire of meta-chasing maniacs, slapped together with math, murder, and just enough inappropriate jokes to keep your wisp watching. You like tankiness? We've got more DR than a therapy convention. You like damage? We're pumping enough slash procs to make bleed out look like a lifestyle choice. You like control? Welcome to your god phase, where enemies don't move, don't live, and don't even get to ask what killed them. And if you don't like any of that, then you're in the wrong corner of the system, sweetheart. Because this is Gara Prime, the Sunbreaker, and she's here to mop up the remnants of the sentient war with broken glass and broken spirits. Welcome to the build that turns artistry into atrocity. Let's get surgical. Let's get glassy. Let's get motherfucking violent. Before we go balls deep into the glassy guts of the build, I need to hit you with a quick PSA, because some of y'all are out here asking why your Shattered Lash hits like a pool noodle dipped in regret. Dexterity arcanes. Use them, love them, worship them. Primarity dexterity and secondary dexterity are your best fucking friends. Not only do they juice up your weapons with that sweet plus 60% bonus base damage when you get a melee kill, but they also keep your melee combo meter hanging around longer than your ex that still watches your Warframe fashion posts. That sweet, sweet extra combo duration means you can keep swinging like a glass-bladed Beyblade from hell without having to constantly rebuild combo like it's a damn minigame. This shit isn't optional. This is quality of life steroids, and if you're trying to do endgame content without them, you're just asking for pain and disappointment. So if you're not rocking these yet, fix it. Slap them on, take a breath, we're going in. So now that we've cleared up that little "why am I doing wet tissue damage" problem, let's crack open Gara's kit and break down how this glass goddess turns entire tile sets into shimmering graveyards. Abilities and synergies. Cracked, stacked, and ready to slash. Passive. Flashbang Bitchslap. Let's talk about Gara's passive, the kind of party trick that leaves enemies dazed, confused, and pissing glass dust for days. Every time you cast an ability, you've got a 15% chance to trigger a 12-meter radial blind that lasts a solid 10 seconds. And guess what? That chance stacks by plus 20% per cast until it hits, meaning after a few quick casts, you're basically shining the sun directly into your enemies' skulls. And don't worry, this ain't your average blind. This beauty works on damn near everything. Overguard, nullifiers, already blinded enemies, doesn't matter. If they got eyes, or hell, even if they don't, they're getting flashbanged into oblivion. And with some spicy casting speed buffs, you can keep that CC chain rolling tighter than a Navarus Night Raid. But let's be honest, the best crowd control is still a goddamn corpse, so while it's cute to make them stumble around like drunk liches, we'll be leaning harder into the murder side of things. Ability 1, Shattered Lash, aka the Butcher Blender 9000. Lash out with a stream of shattered glass, or hold for an arcing strike. Nah, we don't hold, we slash. Pro tip, go into your gameplay settings and swap hold for tap. That way, every time you press 1, you're delivering good old-fashioned 400 slash damage in a 225-degree arc of high-speed crystal fuckery at 10 meters. If you hold, you're poking with 400 puncture, but you're not here to poke, you're here to cut. Shattered Lash is our VIP, front row, blood-slick ballerina of damage. It's your best friend in every hallway brawl, alley ambush, or Grenier gangbang gone sideways. Seriously, fuck those butchers. It used to be we relied on melee afflictions for scaling this beast, but since Mass Vitrify makes enemies immune to knockdowns, we're pivoted to melee exposure, which ramps up the base damage of Shattered Lash. Meaning, Mass Vitrify's wall becomes a slashing shitstorm death zone when you attack it with Lash. Alright, let's get mathematical, baby. Our base stats are 400 base damage, 20% crit chance, 2x crit multiplier, 30% status chance. Now let's unleash the beast. With 243% ability strength, 8 statuses applied, 536% elemental damage, a 12x combo multiplier, 4.25x viral multiplier, 4.99x vulnerability, and a 24.4x average crit damage multiplier, our Shattered Lash hits for an amazing 475,449,048.57 damage. And if we slap on a full 13 status primer like Encumber, or give our best boy the time to do its business, we have 713,173,572.86 damage. We are able to casually do 750 million damage in a single fucking hit. Yeah, the stat stick apocalypse tried to kill this playstyle. Turns out they just gave it a grudge. Oh, and yeah, Shattered Lash scales with both range and strength. So build like a madman, or a drunk engineer, or whatever the hell you are, dreamer. Ability 2, Splinter Storm, aka the blender bubble of eternal suffering. Gara's armor splinters into a maelstrom of shattered glass that slices enemies and impairs their weapons. Allies who contact the cloud are fortified against damage. In plain English, you become a walking hurricane of stabby crystal pain, a self-made force field of infinite glass-based disrespect. And yeah, we're not being poetic here. This is literally an infinitely scaling dot, assuming you don't let some nullifier touch your butthole with their bubble of shame. After you just dunked the origin system with Shattered Lash's 475 million plus crit, you followed up with Splinter Storm, a persistent AOE that stacks damage with no upper limit. It's like an overtime insult to every injury you just caused. Think death by 1,000 cuts, except all at once, and every single second. Forever. What it does for you. We get damage reduction, like armor, but cooler and shinier. AOE dot melts enemies within radius like hot vodka through a Smita. Our damage vulnerability stacks with other debuffs. Keep stacking, keep winning. It's recastable, so every time you walk through Mass Vitrify, the duration resets. and it buffs allies, because we're generous murderers. Also keep in mind, it can be cast on enemies too, for when you just want to watch someone suffer slowly. And get this, there's no cap. You want 2.1 billion damage over time? Go nuts. As long as you stay clear of nullifiers and keep resetting through Vitrify, you're golden. Or glassy. Whatever. Oh, and yeah, some nerds still talk about using Spectrage to boost the damage. I mean, sure, it works. Half of the mirror damage goes into the Splinter Storm's total, but spoiler alert, Mass Vitrify does the same thing, and scales better. So yeah, we're leaving Spectrage where it belongs, in the trash with Brat and Vandals and good intentions. Now with this setup, you're not just playing Gara, you are the Storm. This is moddable by duration, range, and strength. Ability number 3, Nourish, aka Gara's Kitchen of Pain. Now don't get all comfy thinking this is some fluffy healing ability. Nourish is a powerhouse of status and energy madness. Grendel may be the only one doing the digesting, but you get to reap the rewards. Enemies get eaten alive by viral damage every time they attack or get hit. Plus, your team gets energy buffs from energy pickups, making this an absolute game changer for you and your squad. So what does it do for you? You want viral? You got it. Enemies attacking or getting attacked by you now suffer a healthy dose of viral status. Less health for them, more destruction for you. Energy pickups give more energy, and this goes for you and your squad. Gara's not just setting the stage for destruction, she's feeding the squad like a team-wide energy buffet. Turn Shattered Lash into a status beast. When you stack Viral and Corrosive onto Shattered Lash, you unlock devastating damage potential. It's like having the perfect storm of damage, ramping up every time you shatter those glass barriers. Oh yeah, it's moddable by duration, range, and strength. Now let's move on and unleash some real destruction with ability 4, Mass Vitrify. Create an expanding ring of molten glass that slowly crystallizes enemies who enter. When the expansion is complete, the ring hardens to block weapons fire. The ring draws extra strength from the health and shields of crystallized enemies. Use Shattered Lash to smash the ring and send razor-sharp glass flying outward. Alright, so Mass Vitrify is where the magic happens. Gara's ultimate defense nuke, if you will. Place the ring of molten glass down and let it slowly crystallize enemies. Not only does this create a barrier of destruction, but the ring also blocks incoming weapons fire. But here's where it gets filthy. The wall strengthens based on the health and shields of the enemies inside, so the more they hurt, the stronger it gets. Just a little love tap of Shattered Lash and you're sending razor-sharp glass flying in every direction. Death by Glass Storm. So let's break down the real fun stuff. We can damage stack like a madwoman. 50% of the damage dealt by Mass Vitrify gets converted into Splinter Storm's damage stack. This means, as you shatter the glass with Shattered Lash, you're escalating your dot damage, basically turning Gara into a walking death machine. Shattered Lash's raw damage transfers to the Vitrify explosion when you shatter the glass. Prime Pressure Point, Elemental Mods, Roar, Eclipse, and Nourish all pump up the Vitrify barrier's potential. While enemies are being crystallized and encased in molten glass, they're also hit with the damage vulnerability, meaning all your damage is cranked up even more. The more damage you put into the wall, the more the enemy feels it. But damage vulnerability isn't the only benefit. Enemies get slowed as they're covered in molten glass. Once crystallized, they become fragile as hell, so shatter them with a stare and leave a trail of destruction in your wake. Keep in mind that Gara is invulnerable during animation, so no need to worry about getting gunned down while you're casting this. This works as a survivability tactic just as much as a damage upgrade, so feel free to just stand there like the badass you are and let the wall stretch and tear everything around you apart. You are the immovable object. They're the unstoppable force. Until you stop them. Aside from that, let's talk about armor.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we don't care. Sure, Mass Vitrify's health is affected by Gara's armor, but we're not bothering with armor here. We're running melee exposure and focusing on corrosive damage to juice up that damage transfer from Vitrify to the enemies and the wall. You want to melt stuff. This is how you melt stuff. Fun fact, damage vulnerabilities from both Mass Vitrify and Splinter Storm are multiplicative. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a damage train that just keeps getting faster. Mass Vitrify doesn't just protect you, it obliterates everything around you. It's a glass wall of pain and vulnerability that you can use to shred enemies into oblivion, all while you stand there and flex on the Grineer like a goddamn unstoppable force of nature. Moddable by duration, range, and strength. Now let's move on to the next part of the build. Okay, before we jump into our playstyle and rotation, let's go over our Archon Shards, the secret sauce. We're rolling with 4 Violet Tau Forge Shards, and these are going to take our damage to a whole new level, specifically with melee critical damage. Each one of these beauties adds plus 37.5% melee critical damage, and guess what? That gets doubled when you're running 500 energy or more, and you're going to be running a lot more energy than that. Trust me. And just for that sweet extra bit of cheeky utility, we'll throw in 1 Violet Tau Forge Shard that gives us the equilibrium effect. This shard converts 30% of health and energy orbs, so you're always topped off and ready to go. Pair that with Nourish and Synth Deconstruct on your companion, and you're not just shattering enemies with glass, you're also never running out of energy in the process. Efficiency at its finest, folks. These Archon Shards are boosting our melee critical damage while making sure you don't ever have to worry about running out of steam during your massacre. You'll be dishing out glass shard carnage without worrying about your energy bar. Now let's break down how you're going to use these boosts to their full potential. We've got melee critical damage pumping up those shattered lash hits, and that equilibrium effect will keep you topped off, never having to worry about your energy running dry when you need it the most. You're basically going to be running around like a glass-infused fucking energy machine, shattering everything in your path while your health stays solid and your energy reserves full. Alright, now that we've covered these precious Archon Shards, let's move on to the fun part, the playstyle and rotation. So how do we survive with Gara? Gara's playstyle isn't just about surviving. She's a walking storm of molten glass that'll absolutely obliterate everything in her path. You're going to be dishing out some serious pain while keeping your ass invulnerable to all the enemies trying to make you their next punching bag. Strap in, this is going to be a ride. Step 1. Activate Splinter Storm. First off, get that Splinter Storm going. The moment you cast it, you'll surround yourself in a whirlwind of sharp glass that shreds everything nearby. And yes, this also stacks damage over time. Enemies get close, they die. Simple as that. Nourish is your secret sauce here, giving you viral procs and some extra damage while using your weapons and Shattered Lash. It's like having a free damage boost while the world around you falls apart. Step 2. Mass Vitrify. Now, pop Mass Vitrify and become fucking invulnerable. While you're making that molten glass wall, you're untouchable. And guess what? It resets the timer on your Splinter Storm, so the damage continues to stack. This is your time to stand tall and let enemies charge at you like they have a death wish. Splinter Storm keeps wrecking them, while you just stand there and laugh as they get shredded by your defensive glass barrier. Step 3. Shattered Lash. Once they're getting nice and cozy near you, it's time to start laying into them with Shattered Lash. This ability will not only deal god tier damage, but it'll also apply melee exposure, which ramps up the damage of Shattered Lash by a metric fuck ton. Your Shattered Lash will make sure that all that glass flying around leaves nothing but broken bodies in its wake. Keep that combo up, and you'll be hitting some insane numbers. Step 4. Rinse, wash, and repeat, you beautiful monster. Once your Splinter Storm is stacked and your Mass Vitrify is up, just keep lashing everything in sight. It's a fucking cycle of death. Damage, invulnerability, explosions, and more damage. Keep that loop going for defense, survival, interceptions, or anything else where enemies need to know what happens when they fucking cross the glass goddess. This is your playground, so make sure these bitch-ass Grenier butchers understand why they should have stayed in bed today. Now for the Demolishers, the big scary VIP targets that think they can survive your wrath, grab something like the Compressor or any other primer that makes you feel like a goddess, and start stacking your combo before you get anywhere near them. Once you're primed, lash the literal fuck out of them and watch as they get absolutely indentured. And it's time for our staple, No Mercy. Conan the fucking Barbarian style. Level cap? Not anymore. Watch them shatter like the fragile little bitches they are. And there you have it, folks. You're a goddess of glass, shattering your way through the origin system, leaving nothing but a trail of destruction and broken enemies behind you. If that doesn't sound fun, I don't know what does. Now get out there and let the Grenier butchers feel the weight of your Sunbreaker fury. You're unstoppable now. So it's time to lock and load with the Arsenal of Annihilation. This is the meat and glass shards of the build. Absolutely pivotal to melting faces, shredding limbs, and turning any sorry sack of clone meat that walks into your blast radius into a fine powder. This setup is so important. Ballas himself would piss his robe just looking at it. Did I mention that these are absolutely essential, completely pivotal? I can't stress how important these are. Primaries. Fuck primaries. You don't need that shit. We're not here to play laser tag with pea shooters. We're here to murder gods with broken glass and a sassy attitude. The only reason we're slotting a primary is for primary dexterity, and the only reason we're slotting that is to extend Shattered Lash's combo duration. Think of your primary as that one weird kid in school who gets invited to the party but nobody talks to. It's just there. Don't touch it, don't look at it, don't acknowledge it. Secondaries. Compressor. Oh baby, now we're talking. The Compressor isn't just a bubble gun. It's a hyper-lethal, status-slapping, ass-blasting nano-orb death dispenser. This thing was built to ruin VIPs, and it does so with the grace of a drunk chainsaw-wielding ballerina. We are modding it with blast, corrosive, and viral, because fuck armor, fuck flesh, and fuck anyone who thinks they can survive more than a sneeze's worth of damage. So here's the play. Our Arcane is Secondary Encumber. With this Arcane equipped, every single bullet orgasm that pops out of this soap dispenser has a chance to slap on multiple different status effects. And when you stack up to 13 unique statuses in one quick love tap, that's when the real magic happens. You prime the target, and suddenly they're walking around like they just stuck a fork in an Orcan power conduit. Use this right before Shattered lashing their organs in orbit, and the VIPs will die so hard their clones will be born pre-shattered. And don't forget, the compressor also sounds hilarious. Pop, motherfuckers, get rinsed. Our melee, Shattered Lash Prime. With the new Exalted rework, the stat stick era is dead. Pour one out for the Riven junkies and armor addicts who thought they were safe. Turns out their builds were held together with duct tape and salt. Meanwhile, Real Tenno adapted. Real Tenno thrive. Real Tenno, like you, unlock true power. Shattered Lash is your Exalted melee, baby. That's the main dish. That's your filet mignon, your Wagyu glass steak, served bloody and screaming. You don't need some overmodded Graham Prime or whatever Twitch chat told you is meta last month. You need combo duration, strength, and the will to shove shards of divine punishment into every breathing organism on the tile set. That's it. That's the build. Cut it out with the nonsense. You don't need anything else. Just Shattered Lash, a little compressive foreplay, and an overwhelming urge to turn the Origin system into your personal sandbox of explosive crowd control and war crimes. Get your shit loaded, dreamer. We're not just playing Warframe, we're rewriting the Geneva Convention, one fuck you glass wall at a time. Hell yes. Now let's talk companions, or as I like to call them, pocket gods with a grudge. Now the Origin system is flooded with choices when it comes to companions. Helmet chargers, sentinels, cats that knock shit off ledges like they own the place. A whole ass zoo of options, but we don't care about options. Because there is only one. The myth. The menace. The motherfucking marvel of multi-status mayhem. The best boy. Trademarked, copyright applicable, emotionally bonded for life. This mecha hound hybrid of Doom is the ultimate CC primer, status spreader, and casual war criminal. He doesn't just prime, he violates every known rule of engagement, lacing enemies with so many status effects that DE might flag you for modding. We're talking viral, heat, slash, electric, gas, radiation, magnetic, puncture, you name it. He's like a walking STD for the enemy, just rolling through, infecting everything in a 13 status fiesta that turns your compressor into a war crime and your Shattered Lash into a surgical strike from the goddamn void. But wait, we can't forget the mecha set. Fuck that shit. The best boy is the mecha set. Have your little demon hound blow everything the fuck up. Watch it spread the suffering like a Navarus party gone nuclear. This good boy doesn't bark, he detonates. He's your distraction, your AOE nuke, your status engine, your emotional support war machine. If you're not running best boy by now, I need you to walk to the nearest console, look yourself in the eye and ask, why am I like this? So do the right thing. Build the best boy, level him, love him. And when he skull fucks an entire room of corrupted heavy gunners into a molten heap of status box and fire, just whisper to yourself, damn right, that's my boy. Companion? No. Icon? Legend? Technocyte cuddle beast from hell? Now get out there and make the floors run red with affection. And that, my beautiful blood-soaked glass-slinging degenerates, is the endgame Gara build. From the righteous fury of Shattered Lash to the invincible ass-clenching splendor of mass Vitrify, we turned this Warframe into a walking, nuking, crystal-blinding goddess of crowd control and carnage. You are now legally licensed to shatter timelines, grind through the ground, and make every Grineer squad scream like they just stepped on a pile of Orcan Legos. But hey, we're not just here to throw glass and talk shit. Well, we are, but we're also here to tell stories. Because this build isn't just cracked, it's cinematic. Gara isn't just a frame, she's a myth. She's a shattered knight wandering the sands of glass, holding back the endless tide. That's why she's earned her place in our Chronicles of the Origin System playlist, a vault of Warframe's greatest legends, reimagined through the eyes of storytellers who just so happen to love slow-motion finishers, cursed relics, and a good camera pan as much as they love 9,999 slash sticks. This isn't just content, this is craft. This is our love letter to Warframe, written in blood, film grain, and absolutely zero regard for enemy armor scaling. So whether you're here for the builds, the lore, or just the voice that screams through your headphones at 2 a.m. while you accidentally turn Hydron into a crater, we see you, we love you. You're part of this ride with us, and we're only just getting started. From HairlessPersian and Demon Prince himself, thank you. As always, stay lethal, stay sleek, and most of all, stay dangerous, Tenant. This is the Demon Prince, and I'll see you in the Void, Dreamers.